Arsenal don't rest. Even when they're winning, they're already planning the next move. And the name everyone needs to know right now? Christian Kofani. So who is this guy? Right, let me break this down simply because this story is actually really interesting once you understand the full picture. Christian Kofani is a 19-year-old striker from Cameroon. Just last summer, he was playing in the Spanish second division for a club called Albacete. Not exactly the biggest stage, right? But Bayer Leverkusen saw something in him and paid just 5.25 million euros to bring him to Germany. That's not a lot of money in today's football world. That's less than some clubs spend on a backup goalkeeper. Fast forward less than a year, and now Leverkusen are reportedly asking for between 60 million euros and 70 million euros for the same player. Yes, you read that right. From 5.25 million euros to potentially 70 million euros in under 12 months. That tells you everything you need to know about the kind of season this young man has had. In 39 competitive appearances for Leverkusen, Kofani scored 15 goals. That's a serious return for any striker, let alone a teenager playing his first season in one of Europe's top 5 leagues. He didn't just show up, he delivered. And Leverkusen even trusted him enough to play him in the Champions League. Here's where it gets even more interesting. One of the teams Leverkusen faced in that Champions League campaign was Arsenal. And Leverkusen got knocked out. So Arsenal have literally seen this kid play against them at the highest level. They know what he can do. This isn't scouting from a distance. This is a club going back for a player they've already watched up close. That's not a coincidence. That's a statement. What are Arsenal actually doing here? Now look, Arsenal are not short of attacking options right now. Victor Gyökeres is there. Kai Havertz is there. Gabriel Jesus is there. So why are they chasing another striker? Simple. This isn't about the present. This is about the future. Arsenal are thinking 3, 4, 5 years ahead. Gyökeres is already 26. Jesus has had too many injury problems to rely on long term. Havertz plays more of a hybrid role anyway. He's not a pure number 9 in the traditional sense. So who is going to lead Arsenal's attack in the next era? That's the question. And Kofani might be the answer they're looking at. When a club buys a 19-year-old for big money, they're not expecting him to start every game from week 1. They're investing in potential. They're saying this player is going to be elite, and we want to own that before someone else does. Think about it. Leverkusen did the exact same thing when they bought this kid for 5 million euros. They saw the potential early and acted. Now they're going to get back tenfold what they paid. Arsenal want to be the club that does the same thing on the next level. Get him now, develop him, and watch him become world-class in their system. If Mikel Arteta can work with this kid the same way he's developed players like Bukayo Saka and Martin Odegaard, then honestly, the ceiling is frightening. Let's talk about the money, because 70 million is not small. Here's where I want to pause for a second. Leverkusen paid 5.25 million euros. Now they want up to 70 million euros. That's more than 13 times what they paid. And they're going to get it in this market for a teenager with one good season. I mean, probably yes, because that's just how football works now. But let me put this into context with some history. Only 2 players in Leverkusen's history have been sold for more money than they're now asking for Kofani. The first was Kai Havertz, who went to Chelsea back in 2020 for 100 million euros. The second was Florian Wirtz, who made his massive move to Liverpool in 2025 for 125 million euros. Both of those players are world class. Both of them justified those price tags. So when Leverkusen are putting Kofani in that same conversation, bracketing him with Havertz and Wirtz, that's a bold statement. They're basically saying this kid belongs in that category. Do I believe that yet? Honestly, I'm not fully convinced. One season is one season, but I understand why clubs are willing to gamble at this price. Because if he turns out to be even half as good as Wirtz, that 70 million euros looks cheap in 5 years. Fabrizio Romano, who tracks these transfers closer than anyone, has consistently pointed out that the summer 2025 window is going to be one of the most aggressive in recent memory, with top English clubs leading the spending. Arsenal fits right into that pattern. They have the financial power, they have the ambition, and they clearly have the eye for young talent. Does Kofani actually fit Arsenal's system? This is the question that matters most. Because buying a player is one thing, fitting into Arteta's way of playing is another. Arsenal under Arteta press hard. They move the ball quickly. They want their striker to be intelligent, not just physical. They want someone who can drop deep, link play, hold the ball, but also make runs in behind. It's a demanding role. Does Kofane do all of that? Based on what we've seen this season, he looks like someone who has good movement, works hard, and isn't afraid of the big moments. Playing in the Bundesliga at 19 and scoring 15 goals means you have something real. You can't fake that, but the Premier League is different. The pace is higher, the defenders are stronger, the physicality is on another level. Some young strikers come from the Bundesliga and adapt immediately. Others take time. A few never quite make it. The question for Arsenal fans is, which one is Kofane going to be? Personally, I think the talent is real, but I'd want to see him handle a full Premier League season before I'm calling him elite. The potential is obviously there. The numbers are there. Now it's about whether he can do it in England, which is the hardest test of all. And what about Leverkusen's replacement plan? Here's an interesting bit that a lot of people are sleeping on. If Kofane leaves Leverkusen this summer, who comes in? According to reports, one name being looked at is Nicolo Tresoldi, a young striker currently playing for Club Brugge in Belgium. Tresoldi is an Italy U21 international. He's been doing good things in the Belgian Pro League and has caught the attention of more than one big club. Borussia Dortmund are also reportedly keeping an eye on him, so Leverkusen's plan might be to sell Kofane for massive profit, then reinvest in another young talent, much like they did when they bought Kofane in the first place. It's a smart model. Buy low, develop, sell high, repeat. Honestly, you have to respect that business model. Leverkusen have been running this playbook for years and it works. They find players before everyone else does, give them the platform to grow, and then cash in when the big clubs come knocking. The cycle continues, and right now, Arsenal are at the door. Let me ask you something. Do you think Arsenal should spend 70 million euros on a 19-year-old with just one Bundesliga season? Or is that too big a risk? And here's another one. If you're an Arsenal fan, are you more excited about signing Kofane now, or would you rather wait and see if his price drops after another season? Because 70 million euros is a massive commitment for a player who hasn't played a single Premier League minute. And finally, do you think Leverkusen are overpricing him on purpose, hoping someone panics and pays? Because that's also a real possibility. Clubs do this. They name a high price, let the bidding war begin, and see who blinks first. Drop your thoughts in the comments. This is the kind of debate football was made for. The bottom line, Christian Kofane is 19 years old. He scored 15 goals in one season for one of Germany's best clubs, and he played Champions League football against Arsenal, the very club now reportedly chasing him. That's a story. That's a proper transfer saga in the making. Arsenal are planning for the future. They want a striker who can grow into the next phase of this project, and Kofane fits the profile of what Arteta wants. Young, hungry, goal-hungry, and already tested at a high level. Is 70 million euros a lot? Yes. Is it worth it? That depends entirely on what this kid does over the next 3 years. But one thing is clear. Leverkusen know what they have. Arsenal know what they want. And the summer is going to be very, very interesting. Keep watching. Keep talking. And remember, in football, the biggest transfers always start with a rumour exactly like this one.